you're not going to find it here tonight on I Want to Believe, because all we have is filler.
Why is it open forum every time I show up?
It's not an open forum because we don't have any questions.
Well, just open forum for us to discuss things.
It's open forum in the sense that anyone can say whatever dumbass thing they want. I think everyone should own a midget.
Is that why Dalton's here?
Yes, Dalton is behind us. As you can tell,
by the cackle.
The braying jackass laugh. Welcome to I Want to Believe. Strap yourself in, kids. My name is Shannon Young. I'm going to be the host tonight. Unfortunately, with me is, to my left, Calvin Abear.
What's up?
You picked a terrible night to show up. What a terrible night to have a responsibility.
Oh, a Castlevania reference.
Thank you.
Magical.
Thank you. Allie Abear.
Hello.
No relation.
Yep.
Someone gunning it behind us. Lindsay Wolfgong.
Hello.
Fresh off her stint at the facility. And joining us tonight, the main attraction, the Big T, Tanner Calvert here. I can't call you Big T.
Why?
I call Dalton Big D.
Yeah, but my name's been Big T longer than his been Big D. And I've been here longer than him.
Yeah, but when you can...
I've been here longer than him.
But when you add up how many shows...
I've been here longer than him.
Between the two of you...
I can't help it. I don't watch wrestling as vehemently as he does.
And Allie Bear.
You already introduced me.
He wanted
She's
to
here
introduce
twice.
you again.
I know. I'm still trying to gauge your levels because Tanner's really quiet. Tanner needs you to speak up.
Wasn't that what the pre-show's for?
Yeah, but he didn't talk a lot.
I did too.
You did, and unfortunately, the things you talked about on the pre-show, we couldn't even release the pre-show.
You know, that's fair.
There's a reason
that's
we put
a good thing.
Reason we put the pre-show behind the $1 entry fee, and if you want to know why, if you want to see how controversial Podzilla 1985 can still be, almost 4 years after we've started, $1 will get you into that. Patreon.com/Podzilla1985. The people that are already Patreon subscribers, they're right now writing their congressman trying to get us taken off the air.
Yes, I am.
But it's not going to work. It's the same reason we do shows like this, I Want to Believe, which is normally your spot for the weird and paranormal stuff that we can find through the week. But in full disclosure, today, in the past couple days, we've been trying to get a house because we're moving, and unfortunately that did not work out. So now we're trying to find different places, and I've been going crazy trying to figure out where I'm moving to.
Yep.
So that's where we are. So I didn't have time to really do shoe notes.
Wow.
Show notes.
Tonight. So we're kind of winging it. I got 2 stories to talk about. 3 technically, because we had some quantums in there. Nuka-Cola quantum.
I was just wondering if you put it in or not.
I didn't put it in, but I want to talk because I don't understand it. I don't understand it, Calvin. Let's start there. Let's just jump into it. And let's go right to quantums.
Are you going to read what they put?
I don't have it.
You can't. Okay.
I got it by memory though.
Okay, go for it.
So scientists,
Yeah.
I'll
There are
look
plenty
it
of
up. I'll just look the damn thing
I like
up.
how it started with scientists. Uh-huh.
It's that it's the It's Always Sunny bit where they try to figure out something to say without yelling and screaming, and then after a few seconds they give up and just start like, once he's gonna put his thumb to his damn eye, and he calls him a bitch.
Yeah.
So I'm on the Coast to Coast website, by the way, which is a fantastic site. It's where we get a lot of our news from, although it's not the only place, but they do a really good job of like keeping up with stuff. And as I'm scrolling through this to find this story that we're talking about, Calvin, I see one of their top stories is about a video about a holy child statue in Mexico crying. And it's like crying
kind
blood.
of common for Mexico.
It is. You would think that with all of these miracles that have been happening for so long in these really small, poor towns that Jesus would have done come back by now. And yet, I haven't seen him.
What do you mean? There are tons of people in Mexico named Jesus.
I don't think that's...
I think I broke Shannon. Mission accomplished.
I don't think that's what they mean, but okay. To be fair. The reason I bring it up because I think it goes back to something we talked about on the show. When did we talk about this? It was a while back about like the whole concept of miracles, especially like crying statues, these fake miracles that people record, like Jesus did not appear to you in a tortilla chip. He just didn't. You think the Son of God, the man who is omnipotent, who has all this power, is going to come to your dumbass in a tortilla chip?
Look, man,
Maybe
he just
he's
wants
got
to
a
be
weird
delicious.
sense of humor.
He just wants to be delicious.
Every time you talk about Jesus appearing on food, I keep thinking of grilled cheeses. Grilled Jesus. Jesus?
Grilled Jesus.
You mean the holy cheeses?
No. So, all right.
I need to see what a grilled Jesus is.
Wait. In full disclosure, I used to watch Glee because I'm a music fan, especially music clubs like that. There was literally an episode where Finn, one of the main male characters, is grilling a grilled cheese. And when he flips it over and goes to take the first bite, he realizes there's an image of Jesus on the toast, and the whole school starts worshiping it. And so that's grilled cheeses.
I have nothing to say to you.
Okay. Hey, look, we have nothing to talk about. You talked about Jesus on food, and I'm like, oh God, I keep thinking about that.
I just want a grilled cheese now.
Seriously.
I just want to eat Jesus now. I know I can drink.
I'm sure
Mass?
Jesus would appreciate
go
that.
to a Catholic church.
That actually happened. Yeah, they give you the
Body of
crackers.
Christ.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, wait a
Tanner
minute.
looked at me like he was so confused. I'm like,
Tanner thought they were literally grilling
Well,
up Jesus burgers.
You said I would love to eat Jesus. I'm thinking, I'm sure Jesus would appreciate that. And then she says, go to the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
It's not just
I
Catholic
went there.
Church, is it though?
Catholics believe that it's actually the body
yeah.
of blood.
Most other
Yeah.
denominations believe that it's a
It's symbolic.
symbol
Symbolism.
for.
Okay,
Is to remind you of it. You aren't actually partaking.
hold on.
I believe they call it transmuting. Like it's supposed to like it's still
They have a fancy word for it. Dalton,
Yeah.
what are you?
Substantiation.
Probably. That sounds right.
Transmogrification.
That's Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah.
Just as believable.
But-
Oh, that was a shot. I'd like to apologize
At which one?
to the creators of Full Metal.
Okay.
So the Catholics believe that you actually eat Jesus' body and drink his blood?
Yes.
Are they, like, is there something wrong with them? Like, in their heads?
It's
These
what
are the same
they
ones that touch
believe.
boys, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh. Rough show tonight.
Also, I get that he's like holy and stuff, but if it really transforms into body and blood of Jesus, are they just admitting to being cannibals?
I like to think of Jesus in heaven laying on his side as people are just ripping pieces off of him to give us. And he's just screaming in agony. He's like, Dad, why? You know,
Why have you forsaken me?
why have you? Well, no. Why are you feeding me to these people?
I cry when angels deserve to. That's a different song.
Calvin, wake up
Grab a brush,
and put on
a little makeup. I know all the lyrics, man. We can keep going.
Well,
So
you
Back-
probably do it better
back-
than the band.
back on a paranormal
Yeah.
topic.
Tanner, this is neither the time nor
Hey,
place.
System of a Down is very paranormal.
I mean, I agree. I love the music. And boy, they're fucking weird.
yes.
So we've talked in the past about Tom DeLonge.
Yeah, the best singer from Blink-182.
Eh.
Uh-oh.
I don't want to hear anything back there from Vanilla Ice.
Okay, I'm not the one that said that.
Oh, don't even get started on
I'm the
music
one that's
with
on the
Ace.
show.
Damn.
Anyway, he's got his own show on History coming up.
Yeah.
They signed a contract to get his own show on ufology.
Hey, you know, I know people give Tom DeLonge a lot of shit for, like, well, everything. Like his singing, because he was so nasally. But I still liked it. My favorite songs for Blink-182 are where he's singing. That's neither here nor there. But a lot of people make fun of him for leaving the band and, like, starting this thing. You know, like, he's so obsessed with UFOs and stuff like that. But, like, I give the dude, like, all the credit in the world. Because if I could, that's what I would do in my life. I would research the paranormal. That would be me. If you have the influence and the means to do it, and you are driven by, like, ambition and a real belief in this stuff, you shouldn't make fun of the guy for it. Just because he's not around still singing shitty ass songs with Travis Barker and the other one.
Mark Hoppus.
And the other one, what's the other one's name?
I just know Mark.
He's been in the
Hoppus.
band the entire time. What's his name? The
Mark
other one.
Hoppus.
The other one.
There's only 3.
Yeah. 3 minus Tom DeLonge. Who's the third one? Who's the third guy? And it's
There's
not.
only been 3 people in that fucking band.
That's not true.
You're
Sir,
making-
please watch the language on my show. I'm looking up Blink-182 right now.
Oh my goodness.
Tanner, you keep talking.
I mean, yeah, I can't. I love the fact the guy's doing it. It just,
No, I'm gonna drag you away.
Oh shit! He tried to steal Calvin's seat. You should not have gotten up.
But anyway,
Thirsty, man.
so I actually admire him for going out and doing this because it's something I want to do. I want to have, even if it's just us on YouTube. That's my goal, is to have us have a ghost hunting and paranormal research show on YouTube, weekly, monthly, something.
Yeah. I would love to do that too. Billy Hills is already on board.
Yeah.
He's already signed up for it, by the way, legitimately. Also, I just found an article. It's a conversation with Mark Hoppus when they asked about Tom DeLonge recently. And he said there's no bad blood between them. He's doing his stuff. We're doing ours. Quote, I mean, he's dedicated so much of his life to UFOs and so much time and energy researching things and listening to people speak and talking about himself that it would seem like a total bummer if he didn't get a chance to fly into outer space and see for himself. So it sounds like they're doing okay with each other. I just wanted to point that out because I always thought they hated each other. Like Tom DeLonge and the band now. I'm also going to look this up real quick because I'm sure.
Weren't you
there's a
looking
third
something up originally?
one. Yeah, I'm going to find your thing in a second.
He gets sidetracked
Okay, but-
very easily.
Isn't this like the third thing he looked up though, or started to look up?
Stop it, Calvin.
I want to believe in train wrecks.
Matt Sikba is the third man. Dalton, you ass. He's the lead. He was the vocalist and guitarist for Alkaline Trio. It's another band that I
But
like.
that's not Blink 182.
He's in the band now.
Oh.
It's Mark Hoppus, Travis Barker, and the guy I just said's name. I can't
Okay.
remember. Call him Alkaline
What's his
Trio.
name?
Matt Sikba.
The guy who couldn't remember who.
Well, you
Says
put
the
me on the
name.
spot. I'm going to knock it out of the park every time.
Oh.
Every single time. I'm looking this thing up for Calvin, as I said I would. It might take a second, though, because it was way back there. I went through so many different articles today, trying to find. I had like a 20-minute window to find stories for tonight. So I went through 40 articles trying to find stuff that I thought was interesting, and of which I found 2. And the rest, it was like slow news week.
I was like, eh.
It's like when we do Pro Wrestling Unscripted and Asa sends us 6 stories. And we're like, uh-oh, slow news week. Except we had a month. Turns out that it's hard to, it's hard. Dalton messaged me on here for some reason. Now I can't think. What did he send me? It's just a bunch of pictures of Blink 182. I don't understand the humor. Why are you the way that you are?
Look, just abridge the story you remember.
All right,
You
so
don't have to find it.
So basically, there were scientists that they reverted, I'll say, a quantum computer back to like a fraction of a millisecond or something. So basically, they reversed time on this computer somehow by a it was like so insignificant, but the fact that they did it means that they like legitimately traveled through time, not just your bullshit way of get down to the ground and you age slower.
The gravity distorts how time works.
Oh.
That's why Gravity Falls is actually set in the 50s.
That's not.
I don't think that's true.
It's why astronauts that are on the International Space Station age slower.
There was actually a project done where they took 2 atomic clocks that were set to the exact same time, left one at ground level, and took another one so far above sea level up to a mountain. And the clock that was at in the mountain actually, like after 24 hours, when they brought it back down, it was actually like 5 minutes slower
Yeah.
than the one that was at ground level.
I have you turned up so loud. But she shares it, and for once, she's the loud one. How does that happen? So, Allie, I need you to push yours back just a little bit. We should probably be fine there. You were going to explain to us how time travel works.
Well, so in
Because you
this,
said that this is nothing new. This is nothing to be surprised about.
this was a theory for a long time that quantum states could jump.
All right, I know what that means.
I don't.
But
So-
Lindsay, what is a quantum state?
Well,
The
okay.
only quantum state I know is quantum leap.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Probably more interesting.
you
than
said
this.
quantum computer, right? That's what
It's
they
a
were
quantum
using.
computer, yeah. So is this an Asus
No,
or is it a Dell?
it's a bunch of molecules, actually probably just atoms, that have been cooled down almost to zero, like as close as we can physically get to zero, right?
Okay. And they made a computer out of it?
Basically, they're using quantum states of the atoms.
So there's no computer involved.
It is the computer. That's like, you know how your computer is just little signals of electrons?
Yes.
The electricity in your computer, right? It's that, but they're using the quantum states of energy, of matter.
Okay, just answer the damn question. Is there a computer?
Yes.
So there is a physical computer.
Yes.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
It
Go
doesn't
on.
look like a computer. It looks like a bunch of tubes in a giant vat of liquid nitrogen and probably some other really cold stuff.
So it's not a computer. I can't log on. I can't surf the web on this damn thing.
There might be some that are connected to like universities that you could probably buy time to use, but you can't now. Like there's no login like that.
So how did they revert time? Like what does that mean?
Well, so the idea is that some quantum states are like they can both exist and not exist.
Like Schrodinger.
Yeah, until you collapse the wavelength.
Okay.
Right? They can also exist within a parameter of time in that way.
Okay.
So it could exist 5 seconds into the future or 5 seconds into the past. And
Okay.
if you collapse it and suddenly it's 5 seconds into the past, even though you did the action now, it's sort of time traveled.
So, to me, when I read stories like this, legitimately, I think 500 years from now, 600 years from now, it's like this time period that people will look back on and go, remember the beginnings of time travel?
Could be, yeah.
You know? I just think that's very cool. There's so much stuff happening right now in our lives
Yeah.
that someday people will go, that is when everything changed for humanity.
So we've gotten teleportation
Yes.
of matter. We've
No.
now, yeah, they teleported. It was a very small amount of matter.
Oh, you're talking about the scientist who he had 2 teleportation pods and he got in one, but a fly got in with him.
No. No, this was like they teleported a bunch
I
of
saw
atoms.
this documentary.
Documentary, huh?
Yeah, it had Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, okay. He's a very famous documentarist.
He's a documentary scientist,
Yeah,
scientician.
Simonologist.
Simon.
We got teleportation. Gravity is now a wave. It's no longer just an intrinsic value of matter. Mm-hmm. And now we have time travel. Very, very small increment of all of them.
Well, not only that, but you're forgetting we're also working toward extending human life, possibly immortality at one point.
Oh, and we have a cure for cancer now.
I did read that stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
Sort of.
yeah, I know what you're talking about. The story of the guy that they basically, was it cancer or was it HIV?
Yeah,
No.
I read the HIV one. Also.
There's one where they're moving on to human trials, but they've been able to modify T cells to identify and attack cancer cells.
And I pray to God the day that is a thing, that cancer can be eradicated, because we've all lost someone to cancer. I think every single one of us here. But the crazy, I've watched too many horror movie side of me thinks this is also how you create
Zombies.
genetic monsters of some kind. Yeah. They're
Well-
like, okay, we're going to put this in you and it might cure your cancer. All right, let's do it.
Or you wind up with chuds.
So
Now you're a 30-foot like lizard thing,
the cool
which
thing
is
about
also cool.
the cool thing about this is the cells that they're telling to identify cancer and then destroy it. Basically, it's not they're going, oh, this person has cancer, like a specific kind of cancer, like lung
it's
cancer.
going, this isn't right.
It's going, that cell isn't like the cells that are around it
Attack.
in a bad way.
Yeah.
Attack it, which means it's not only going to be curing cancer, it'll cure like people with what's it called? HPV?
Yeah.
And like warts and moles and things like that. Sun damage will get cured. Like
That sounds incredible, but like there has to be something wrong with that. Like when they start attacking the wrong blood cells or something, and all of a sudden you're like rotting from the inside out. You know?
I mean, I'm sure some people will have some kind of immune response to it, but that's the idea is that on a otherwise healthy person,
That would
it'll
save
cure
them.
cancer. Yeah.
That leads us to another story that I actually saw, which I don't have written down, but I thought it was interesting. And it was we've talked before about immortality and extending human life to the point that that you may not die. There was one guy who I forget what his official title was, but it sounded like the kind of title.
Scientologist?
No, it was way worse than that.
Okay.
I feel like it's the kind of title you can get online with like $20 and 2 hours. But hey, he said,
Give me $20 and I'll
you'll give me whatever title
I'll
I
print
want.
out a degree for Scientology.
Will you 3D print it?
Yes.
But he said that if you're under the age of 40, there's a good chance you may never die. We talked about that on the shows back.
Yeah, yeah.
But one thing that I never thought about until I read this story today was with the life extensions that we have now already, with cancer and other diseases being cured or being worked on, and if we one day we could have a cure for cancer, and Calvin had not a disagreement with this, but he had a hopeful message. Hopefully, we'll see. We could create basically a race of zombies, because as people age and they get older, but they keep living, dementia being the problem that it is, you would create this whole new problem of people that are 140, 150 years old. And like, yeah, they're still alive, but their brains are so ravaged by the effects of old age and dementia and stuff like that, that they're like, what's the point of being alive?
So we have a whole bunch of Professor Farnsworths.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, no, I think this is worse than Professor Farnsworth, unfortunately.
So one thing, dementia can be fought if you keep your mind active. And that's, as people age, they get less and less active because they can physically do less. But
well, as we age to like 70, 80 and that, but once you hit 130, 140, like, what are you expecting?
Well, so this keeping you alive forever thing is going to work by keeping your body younger, which includes your brain. Mm-hmm. So dementia might not be as relevant.
Yeah.
It could still happen, but also if you are still physically and mentally active, specifically mentally active, you are less likely to get dementia even as you do age nowadays.
Whenever I hear about this, Tanner, I would say you're probably the most religious person here. Would you say that?
I guess, yeah.
Just agree with
yes.
me. Okay. So when it comes to living forever and stuff like that, does that not fly in the face of God's plan for humanity? And as a secondary question, if it does fly in the face of God's plan for humanity, and we are still such a nation that is controlled by religious beliefs, could they purposely stop this process of not dying? Could they put a halt to this because it goes against their religious beliefs?
I mean, you can have that. You guys have to ask that question would be the same thing as trying to ask if they could stop abortion. I mean, they can try all they want, but if it's for the betterment of the human race, whether it's with or against their religious beliefs, they can't control that.
That's a good question, though. Would it be for the better of humanity for us to never die? Overpopulation would quickly become a problem.
We would have very different problems than we do today.
Yeah.
And so it would probably be more or less an even trade-off. Or it would mean that we would have to expand.
I mean, you'd still be able to choose.
Yeah, so
as far as that goes, like you could just not take the treatments and die.
And have children. And
but I mean,
that sounds like a movie, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like
choose to have children,
choose
or
to have children, or choose to live forever. Yeah, and like, what a shitty choice. And we talked about this, I think, on the first show, maybe first or second show.
Yeah,
because I think all of us chose to live forever, except Tanner, who chose to have children because
he already has
a kid, so he's already a dead man.
I have zero interest in children. Why not live forever?
You know who's someone who does have an interest in children? God, and he loves them all.
Uh-huh. Well, then he needs to help us find a house.
The fuck does that have to do with children? Sorry, sir. I didn't mean to use that language on my show, sir. I apologize. They're also talking about reverting the aging process. That, I mean, there's so many things that sound so fantastical, but we're very quickly moving towards these things being a reality.
Well, some of them already happen in nature.
Yeah.
The hard thing, though, is we're talking a lot about this, but our planet is
also
dying.
Yeah, so as we're creating the ability to live longer,
trying to figure out how to live
the
forever, our planet's gone.
Up.
You got like 10 more years.
I love the little picture of somebody going, we should protect our planet, we only have one. And it's just a picture of Elon Musk. do I mean nothing to you?
That's also a good point. That's why I think that eventually everything will become. I really do believe that someday we'll all become digital beings. You know, living on a server somewhere. But then you have to have robots control the servers. But then what if the robots? Because you have to have someone to take care of like the. What if the servers go down?
We're redoing
this is the exact same rabbit hole.
We are redoing a show.
It's so scary to think about. Like, I don't want to die, but I also can't think of any way to live forever.
And
that
then the
isn't
robots
scary.
stop taking care of the server because the cats find them.
which, by the way,
Hey now.
quick plug. You're an all-star. Quick plug for Love, Death, and Robots on Netflix. Fantastic series.
Anthology series.
Anthology series. Really like that. Now you broke my concentration.
I'm sorry.
Well, again, where we were repeating a show.
Yeah, you were already.
But there was something that
The words were already said, man.
There was something I was going to bring up that was new to the conversation, and now I can't remember what it was.
Are you sure?
No. I'm not. So the two stories I did have, this actually goes back to something we mentioned earlier. The miracle thing. You've all by now, you've seen the picture of Jesus shining through the clouds, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is why we can't have nice things. I'm looking at this picture. Kevin, have you seen this picture? Like,
Yes.
I get that you want to believe in something. We all do. It's the name of the show. But why this? This is just some clouds. It doesn't even look like Jesus.
So-
There's nothing on this picture that looks like
It's just
Jesus.
the
So-
sunlight coming
It's
through
just
the clouds.
sunlight going through clouds.
There is a phenomenon. I forget what it's called. But we, as humans, all of us have it, where we see faces and figures and
And
things that
stuff.
don't have it.
Matrixing. It's a Tanner. You will say it's a common thing in ghost hunting, where you take a picture of the darkness and you can make it. Oh, look at the face and the outline. Look
See
at
a
the
full
eyes.
body of somebody.
Full body apparition, and it's just your eyes seeing what it wants to see.
Our brains want to see what it recognizes, and it recognizes the human face.
Did you
and
see
body.
this picture?
Yes.
There's
but-
no
Okay.
face.
Pareidolia.
Bless you.
It's what it's called when you see faces and figures and things. Specifically, a likeness of Jesus in the
Oh, well,
clouds.
This is specific to us.
Wow.
Then, yeah.
So
I mean, this
So
is,
can I take that picture of Jesus with the sun rays and just put the quote "Get in, loser"?
no. Oh no.
I want that shirt.
you're gonna lose us some listeners that we desperately can't lose at this point. This is on Fox News, of course. This article that I found. Actually, both articles are on Fox News. And what I don't like is that no one is shitting on this guy for posting this picture.
Okay, so and I asked this, like, do I believe that they actually see something up there in their eyes? Yeah, probably. There's something there, probably not. But why should anybody shit on him?
Public shaming.
Public shaming is a positive tool because
Not-
No,
No,
I don't
because
think
if
you
we
saw
can make
that
fun of this
full
guy enough,
episode. Did you?
then other
did you
people
listen
won't
to it?
come out and do the same
Is this
thing.
a public figure?
It is now. He posted the picture to social media.
Okay.
He wanted the attention. He said, "Look at this picture of Jesus." If I feel like once you post it, it's open to criticism.
Do you
But,
want to
like-
get criticized by all the stuff you post to Kirk Waters?
Well, I don't know who that is, so that's not a.
What
problem.
about your profile picture right now?
Yeah, seriously.
people can criticize it? I don't
That's
care.
terrifying.
Okay, but the thing is, okay, by him believing that and thinking that this is what he sees and is sharing it, is that causing any harm to anybody who doesn't believe in it?
Not yet.
Not at all.
No, well, you say not at all, but then people start seeing things. People start hearing things. They say they misread.
That's gonna happen whether he posts
That's
that
been
picture
happening
or
for.
Okay, but
the
he
beginning
could
of
be he could be
time.
one of the people that does it.
not. Okay.
He could see this image. This image could talk to him. I don't know. There's all kinds of different. I'm not trying to make fun of religion. I don't generally have a problem with religion because I think at its heart, it's mostly a good thing. But you can't say that some of the craziest and most destructive people are religious people.
Absolutely, yes. But if what he sees and shares is aspiring people to be better people, like nothing about that picture, and I haven't even seen it, so I don't know what it looks like. But
It looks like Jesus is ice skating.
from what you're
He's got it. If it's Jesus, he's doing this motion.
but from what you're describing in the post, he's not pushing an agenda that would even remotely push for something violent or evil in intent. Like it's something that is emotionally inspiring for him and maybe friends of his, and it's been shared from then on there. Now, and oh God, I'm gonna get in trouble for saying this.
Have you been listening to the show tonight?
Yeah. So like I have no problem with anybody believing anything. Like if you don't believe in a God, that's fine. but I call these people jihadi atheists. And I get this from Chris Titus. Okay, it just
I'm personally offended that you made a Christopher Titus reference.
you get over that. Christopher Titus is amazing. Anyway,
Where's his show on Fox?
oh, where's your show on Fox?
Oh, at least I never had one. He had one that got canceled.
I'm pretty sure you did.
I had a show on Fox.
23.
Oh shit!
Took you a second.
Oh yeah, that's how memorable it was.
Those were 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Anyway, how you
on.
feeling? You feeling salty now?
Go on. Go on.
Anyway, like, so unless this guy is like trying to push for something violent to happen, I have seen no reason to dog him about it.
What if he sells it?
Is he selling it though?
What if he does? I'm just asking. If he does.
Why? What do you mean you sell it?
What if he's selling this to people? Like pictures.
It's
If he's making a profit off this, claiming it to be a picture of Jesus, then does that cross the line?
No, not necessarily.
Will it
Exploiting
cross the
people's
line if I make that shirt?
Well, no. I mean, you're exploiting people that believe in alien butt stuff, but okay, you don't see a fault in exploiting religious beliefs? Because like even as someone, I'm not a super religious guy, but I really do think that people's religious beliefs, and I know I'm in complete hypocrisy of what I've been making fun of earlier, but like I feel like if you're exploiting people and trying to sell them something that like isn't real, that's
Okay.
bad, isn't it?
But
You're both raising your arm.
yeah,
like,
I
you're
know.
saying something here.
We're no relation. Especially around here, like every picture of Jesus is not Jesus.
Also, yes.
And they sell those. And it's not an issue.
I feel like religion should not be something to sell.
That's
Okay.
welcome to the church. That's a lot of churches. That's how they literally. That's their
That's how they
subsistence.
say.
But
But there's a difference between, hey, we're passing the collection plate around so that we can maintain our church versus here's a picture of some clouds that I think is Jesus. Here you go.
Well,
20
okay,
bucks.
but
Would you
is he
like
doing
the 24 by 24 painting to forgive you of this sin? Or do you want to buy an entire church to get into heaven?
yeah.
Because that's...
Are you asking me personally? I don't.
No, those are
so
things. That's things
lost.
that's historically happened.
Okay.
So, is this guy doing anything wrong currently?
No,
In your
I
eyes.
no.
Okay.
I think it's just silly, but
That's fair.
yeah.
Then, is he responsible for other people following in his suit, and then they do something wrong?
See, that's a loaded question.
Right? Is it his fault or is it not? Because if
You
it's
dug yourself a deep hole.
Well, no. So there's something to be said about bearing the responsibility of something you create. People that if I said something hateful about someone else, and then that person did something, and then another person who listened to me did something to that person, but I never advocated for him to do it, would I be held responsible? Maybe not in the court of law, but I feel morally, yes. If I am the one saying something that inspired someone else to do this, then I feel like I share responsibility in that. So this guy, if someone's bought, I don't know how to describe this the way that I mean it to, but if something terrible happened based on this picture that he posted, but he didn't actually do it, but it was directly related to what he had done, I would say yes, he shares some responsibility for it.
But you can have people who do things that are in almost complete opposition to what the original motive was.
Yeah.
Are those two things, do they share responsibility?
Tanner, go. Hold on.
Well, no, just in same. Okay, so you're saying if somebody takes this picture and uses it as inspiration,
So
to go
I'm
out and
just
do
the
something
devil's
bad.
advocate. I
No,
just ask
I
questions.
understand. If somebody uses this picture as inspiration to go out and do something bad, then the guy who took the picture and posted it is in some way responsible.
Yes, but
Okay.
not this picture.
No,
Like,
no.
there's no part of me that thinks this picture is harmful.
Yeah, I know. But okay, so on the same coin, I'm gonna flip it and change it up. The girls who went out and killed somebody from their class because they said Slender Man told them to do it.
Right.
Is the creator of Slender Man at all at fault for that reaction?
Oh, that's a good one. My gut says no, because like of all the like that's saying any horror movie that's ever been written. Let's say someone makes a horror film and someone imitates what they saw in that film. are the people that created that film responsible for that in any
No.
way?
I don't think so. No.
Do you remember there was a movie out 90s? So I think you and Lindsay might be the only ones that remember this movie. And I'm trying to remember what it was called. It was called like The Program or Surviving the Game or something like that. There was a part in that movie where these people they laid down on the street and like cars kind of drove over them. And it was like a dare, a prank or something. I'm probably getting stuff mixed up. But people started doing it in real life.
Oh, jeez.
Imitating what they saw. And that movie got in a ton of trouble. The people got in a lot of trouble for creating this that these people copied, and they blamed them for monkey see, monkey do. Is that not the same thing?
People should stop being monkeys.
People should, but that's what people are. People are problematic. We're terrible.
Right,
We're a terrible species.
But just because somebody else did something of their own free will,
Or it's natural selection.
it could be. Does that mean
It's a cruel way of
that
looking at
you
it.
doing something that harmed no one of your free will is to blame?
It depends on what the message is.
I mean,
Like this picture,
I guess,
this
but-
picture of I think I saw Jesus at the clouds. No, that's ridiculous.
but even if the message, as long as the message originally was not,
This is what I'm saying. If the
harmful.
message originally was harmful, like if this guy posted pictures of lynchings, if he saw this looks like this picture of this looks like someone getting lynched or something like that, and someone took that and went out and did it, or you know what I'm saying? Like if he posted something harmful, even though he didn't directly do it, and someone else did something based on it, I would say then yes.
well, what if it was they were bringing it up as in a different context? They were posting lynchings to say, hey, this is a historical thing that happened.
Well, that would be different. I think context is important.
Right, but somebody who looks at that might not care about the context, and so they take it just because they saw it.
Well, no, then I would not hold that person responsible for it.
Okay.
Basically, the line is Charles Manson. He is responsible
Okay,
for
yeah.
all of those murders,
But he didn't directly
but
do
he
them.
Yeah.
didn't actually kill anyone.
Yeah, but he also directed them to kill.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is he?
Yeah.
His
He-
intent was.
His
That was-
intent was to motivate others to do the actions that he wanted to keep his hands clean of.
Yeah.
That's when you can put the blame on the originator of the problem.
I want to say I'm sorry to this guy who posted this picture because, like, I did not mean to create such a, not argument, but a discussion about, like, what I just think is silly that he saw Jesus in these clouds. I am sorry to that man. I want to apologize to him. You guys have made me feel bad about this.
I mean, it was a
It was a good
good
conversation.
discussion. Yeah.
It was good from your side. But when you're
You
on
were
my
the one
side and
playing
there's
devil's
one
advocate.
person- yeah, but then I took it personally.
That's why it's fun.
The other story that I saw, and then maybe we can all agree on this. It's also from Fox News, and it's about a North Carolina restore. You know what restore is, right? It's like- we have one here in Cape.
Or what?
A restore?
No. Just where you
Oh, is that like
Resales.
consignment?
Yeah, Goodwill type
okay.
thing. They sold a set of furniture for, how much was it? $1,000
Oh,
by saying that it was haunted.
of course.
Yeah. And so they paid full. The people that got it, that were interested in the source, they paid full price for it. And I still maintain, not like the guy that posted the picture of the Jesus thing, because again, he's not making money off of it. He's not claiming anything. He's not doing the Homer Simpson thing and claiming heaven sticks and you got to get him to get into heaven. He was just taking a picture, and I disagree with what he saw. And then we turned that into a 20-minute discussion.
Yes.
This is people making a profit off of, again, playing with someone's personal beliefs. And what is happening behind me that I hear all this clicking?
Dalton's being a child like normal. So
Jesus.
I keep seeing his feet swing above your head every
Yeah.
once in a while. And it's
That's
just,
fine. He's plenty of space behind me. He's just got big feet. We call him Dirtfoot.
You could
yeah,
jump backwards
it's so
and
gross.
strong arm him into the couch.
$1,000 for furniture that they would believe is haunted. Would you ever, Tanner, as a ghost hunter, how ridiculous is that to sell furniture based on whether or not it is haunted?
Oh, I'm trying so
Did they
hard.
learn nothing from the Dybbuk box? Dybbuk.
So
Dybbuk.
first of all, I'm going to say no. I would not ever
Dybbuk.
spend $1,000 on furniture, not even if it wasn't haunted.
was or wasn't.
And this is from
Neither.
Restore. It's not like he went to Ashley Furniture.
Yeah,
You know?
that's
So this thing's
We
probably got like
manufactured this
bed
thing haunted.
bugs and I'm getting grossed out. Anyway,
The
so
scariest thing about it's not the ghost.
no, it's not. It's what's crawling
It's
on
the
it.
stains.
So on that same note, apparently this is a big thing on YouTube now for people to get on the dark web.
I saw them buy haunted boxes and
by
stuff.
by supposed Dybbuk boxes, and then just they call them dark boxes from the dark web. And
Well, there's nothing more.
We've mentioned this on this show before, not specifically this one, but don't go to the dark web.
There's nothing on the dark web that you need. Did you just touch your nose? Have you been on the dark web?
No.
Did you just wink at me? Have you bought a haunted box set?
No, I haven't.
So-
I have been room adjacent to that place, but no, I've never actually. Like, I'm not. These people are literally dropping hundreds of dollars for one box.
Yeah, and I want to believe in the paranormal, but I cannot believe that some dude in China is going to send you a box of haunted items. You
So,
know?
do I believe a Dybbuk box exists?
You say Dybbuk?
Dybbuk.
Dybbuk.
How do you pronounce
Dybbuk?
Oh my
Dybbuk?
goodness. Is this going to be this show?
Dybbuk.
Google
Anyway,
Translate.
Hunter is rolling. And he's the only one.
how's it pronounced? Am I just pronouncing it wrong?
It's an old bit from like, oh my God, 3 years ago,
Okay.
where I was talking about the Dybbuk box story.
Spell it.
Yeah. It's like Dibyuk, I think.
Yeah, it's
And I went on a tangent of trying to pronounce it, and apparently it was a pretty funny bit. So, yeah, that's just my callback.
anyway. Do I believe they exist? Sure, absolutely. It's definitely a possibility.
And you can
Because
buy them
all
on
it is-
eBay.
All it is a box of haunted, like a box full of haunted objects. That they could absolutely exist. Are these people going out and spending $1,000 on boxes off the dark web, calling Dybbuk boxes actually real? No, not at all.
Okay, it's Dybbuk. Where's that X? This is K, right?
Okay.
Okay.
You saw the X from box.
Okay, but yeah. Anyway, it's dumb. It's people.
This sounds like people exploiting.
This is actual exploitation.
Yeah, this.
It is. I can go to eBay right now. I looked up haunted items, and there's
eBay
just,
isn't even dark web.
it's
yeah.
not. It's just eBay. You can go to wish.com and get a whole
$2.
To be fair,
$2 Dybbuk box.
To be fair,
will arrive
that's
to you
all
in
coming
3
from
months.
China, so it could be real.
You what?
It could be
It
real.
could be real. It's coming from China.
I don't know, man.
Why did Dybbuk is a Jewish thing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Some of the
It is a Jewish thing.
Some of the boxes you see though have had Asian.
Isn't it also one of those things that's like, a rose by any other name is still a rose? Like a Dybbuk box.
So you're
box.
saying it's just a common name for a thing that
I think when
Now.
people have haunted items like that, because the original story of the Dybbuk box was actually really, really interesting. They bought it at like a yard sale, and they got it home. It was super cursed. They super cursed. That's when you know it's really
I remember
bad.
you telling me the
Hashtag
story
cursed.
of it.
And they caused them harm, and they felt ill. I mean, it was a bad thing. So they tried to take it back, and they wouldn't take it back.
Like, it wasn't until they opened the box.
Yeah,
up
they
that
opened
they
the
had
box.
problems.
They ended up like selling it, I think, to someone else, like a haunted collector. They made a movie about it too, which wasn't great, but that's not, again, neither here nor there. But I think anytime you have an item like that, people just attach that name to it because it's familiar. Because it's like, oh, this thing is haunted. Well, it's a Dybbuk box, and like you don't understand I forget who said it wasn't a Jewish thing. May have been Allie.
Calvin
Or Calvin,
said it,
yeah.
and then I agree.
That like the Jewish lore behind it, like how important it is and the culture. People just like throw that shit away and just slap a name tag on it because it sells better, But yeah, eBay, you can go right now and get so many different haunted items, some of which like haunted estate collection, vintage plaster wall hanging, paranormal item for $80. You can get, and I don't understand what this means, haunted power ferry vessel of 10,000 entities. Most powerful item. All achieved.
What?
$65
So
at
they
best
have
offer.
a vessel that they have trapped many ferries in.
At least 10,000.
and they have all achieved being trapped?
I'm looking it up.
Oh God!
Oh God.
Don't read it.
I'm going to read it.
Oh no!
As a 15-year-old, I realized I had a special gift. Unlike most people, I can communicate and speak with beings that have passed on or not from this realm. I can travel through other realms through astral projection and speak frequently with life sources that most cannot see.
Is this a reincarnation of Edgar Casey?
There is an abundance of life that most know nothing about, and through my plane traveling, I realized that most of these are eager to help their human counterparts. I've collected some, slavery, and decided to share them with you. If you feel a connection to a certain item, it's because they are calling to you and know that they are to help you. All of my items are positive or neutral in nature and cause no harm. And it's shit like that makes me go like, this is why no one ever takes the paranormal seriously. It's because somebody could just throw I'm assuming they got this at Hobby Lobby. This like, it looks like a crystal, I guess. Slap a necklace on it and you say there's 10,000 entities in there.
Oh, that's powerful. A new age
all achieved.
DS.
Yeah, it's all new age healing.
It's exploitation.
Yeah.
Exploitation of people that want to believe in something. Like me, except I'm not falling for it.
Yeah. Well, not that. I mean...
Not that particular one.
Yeah.
I find the stories to be fascinating. I like the dolls that
was really similar to Edgar Casey, though. That's got me stuck on that for a second.
I don't know who's Edgar Casey.
So in the 1900s, early 1900s, a gentleman born in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, was able to basically astral project himself to different places around the earth just by sleeping. And he's from less than 2 hours from here. He's buried there now. He's really famous.
Is he?
Yes.
Buried there?
In Hopkinsville?
Or is he still
Oh yeah, he's entombed there.
floating around somewhere?
Possibly. But like he came up with like predictions and just forcing different things and would actually give fortune basically fortune telling is what I'm gonna call it. But like he would go to sleep and go to this astral plane in mind, but still be able to communicate. And people would send in letters and he would give messages like, hey, I'm sick. I've had this for so long. What should I do? Do this, this, and this. And within this amount of time, you'll be healed. And it actually happened. Some of these predictions he gave for the medical field, that these predictions are still being used today by doctors.
I have to call shenanigans on that.
No, dude, this is
like, it's like Asa said one time, because Asa is very critical of all this. And he said if something, if there was something so revolutionary, he was talking about ghosts, but we'll attach it to this. If there was something that you could prove that was so amazing like that, everyone would know about it. It would literally change the way that we look at life itself. And if this dude is astral projecting and he could prove it, there's no reason this guy wouldn't be a household name for everybody. Yeah. So, like, I'm not trying to like cut your legs off from under you because I want to believe in stuff like that, but it's hard to believe in stuff like that. If it's like whenever you see a ghost hunter show and every place they go to, every single place, what is the one things that they always say? Full body apparitions. You're going to see this and hear this. And then the entire episode, you hear a couple of bangings and some EVPs, and you might catch a shadow down the hall. People just exaggerate. And there are people that want to believe that because they want there to be something beyond this so badly. And then you get to these people that sell it on eBay, and they exploit those people.
Here's the thing. This man could have became a millionaire from what he did, just exploiting people, never asked for a penny. Died poor.
That would give it more credit to me.
He died poor, and the only reason he's entombed the way he is because people who were fans of his and just doctors around the country who'd use his information basically paid for him to be entombed at home in the tomb he's in. There's
a lot of psychics too, though, that don't charge.
Yeah.
There are some people that just get off on the feeling important, and like not all psychics like charge people to help them. There's some people that are genuine. They just want to bring comfort to other people. But like, do you believe in psychics?
In the extent of telling someone's future, or
what about communicating with the dead? You believe that people can communicate with the dead?
Yes. Not, of course, like the people you see on TV 9 times out of 10, probably not.
So you're saying the Long Island medium, and not on the up and up?
Probably not, no.
Okay.
But me personally, I don't think so.
Name one psychic that you genuinely like.
Sean.
Genuine psychic. Not a character on a TV show. Well, shit. That's hard to
differentiate.
Yeah.
Who was the guy from Paranormal State?
Chip Coffey.
Chip.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one I always think of when I think of like, okay, the only psychic I don't hate is Chip Coffey.
Yeah, I like Chip.
He seems like a genuinely cool guy, and like he is trying to help. There's a show. Have you ever watched a show on Travel Channel called help me out, Lindsay? I used to watch it after Ghost Adventures.
Destination Truth?
Well, yes, but no. It was a girl.
Paranormal 911.
No. It was a girl, and it was a woman. I say girl. I apologize.
Was it the couple that used to be married and then got divorced?
Yes.
Shoot,
and
what was that?
It was 2 stories in one. It was her. She would go to these houses and
Paranormal Files?
I think that might have been it. I'm going to look it up.
Or Paranormal Rescue.
No, it was definitely files.
Because they would go in at 2 separate times. The guy would go in first, take away any personal items whatsoever, and then she wouldn't go in until all that stuff was removed.
Because isn't he like an actual detective?
Yes.
Well, no, there's 2 that you're thinking of there. Let's not get them mixed up here. Shit,
I thought he was the one that was an actual detective.
No, it's her husband, her ex-husband would go in and remove stuff.
Yes.
He was not the same guy. But separately, there was a detective who would go investigate the house and then look up history. And all right, so when it comes to, and I can't find the name of it. We'll have to find it at some point. But what I really like about that show was that, so you had the cop who was a legitimate retired police officer, like a detective, I think in New York. And, of course he could be lying, but I'd like to believe that he's not. He would go find out all this info. Meanwhile, she would go to the house and do her readings and, walk around and stuff like that. And then they would both go to the client at the end of the show with the evidence that they found. And so many times they would match up. Like she would feel something that he would find evidence of, or she would see, okay, this is what the person I see in your house looks like. And then he would have a picture from...
He wouldn't give any information
they did not
away
talk to each other at all.
until that point.
It's easy to say, well, clearly they did.
They can script around
They scripted
all
it,
of
right.
that, yeah.
But she seems pretty genuine. But again, if you had a legitimate psychic ability and you're on the Travel Channel, now you could say, well, yeah, look at the way you laugh about it. Who's going to believe you? How, and that's true. But like even James Randi, we talked about it before. James Randi has had that challenge for decades of, if you can prove that you have some kind of ability, I will give you $1 million. And no one's ever gotten it. No one's ever won it. So I don't know what to believe anymore. I want to believe, but as I get older and all the things that I thought would have happened by now have never happened. We still haven't made contact with aliens. We haven't proved ghosts are real. We haven't actually developed a way to speak to the dead. I'm starting to wonder if any of it is real.
So, okay, so the way you were describing her abilities, I don't want so much call her a psychic as I would a sensitive.
A medium?
Yes, kind of. Mediums are still able to make more contact, supposedly.
Yeah.
Sensitives they can pick up on little things in an area. And I know I've talked about it before, like Brandy's sensitive.
Mm.
And
so was John Massey, apparently.
I mean, I haven't got to actually witness John, so I mean, I don't know. But with Brandy's, she can't whistle. Never has been able to. We've been together 10 years. I know she can't. Well, the day I found out she was actually sensitive, because she's always talked about it, I was like, oh, okay, yeah. We went up to Cemetery Hill in Mounds, and I know I've told the story where she comes back and all of a sudden she walks ahead of everybody and she's skipping like a kid and whistling like a nursery rhyme. She has no memory or recollection of that moment from the bottom of Cemetery Hill to the house. So I know she's sensitive. Well, I'm working with her stepfather now, a former stepfather. They haven't lived together in almost 20 years. But we were talking about ghost hunting one night because me and him will sit at work and we'll watch ghost hunting shows. And he told me one night, he goes, does Brandy ever feel anything in the house you're in? Because our house is haunted. Like there's something there in the house. And I kind of look at him with this weird look like, yeah, we've noticed some things. He goes, no. Has Brandy noticed anything? And I smile because I'm thinking he knows something. He noticed as a child that Brandy was like that. She suffered from sleep paralysis. She suffered from heavy sleepwalking to the point where they actually had to lock the house up completely with deadbolts a lot of time. And he attributed all that to her being sensitive, and she would notice things in the house. She would be able to describe people who have been dead since before she was born and seeing them. So do I think that people are sensitive and able to do stuff like that? Yes. Is there enough proof for them to be able to go out and make a living doing stuff like this? No.
Sure there is. The Travel Channel.
Yeah. So, but other than that, so she can sit here with us. She's never met your mother. I don't even think she's seen a picture of your mother. If all of a sudden something happens and she gets a strong feeling and she describes to a T what your mother looks like and what she was like as a person, to me and you, that would be amazing because she never knew her. But to somebody, just anybody, if Lindsay had somebody who from home, it was gone, and then Brandy described.
But you're talking about describing to a T.
Well,
Like,
even
that's-
getting close. If you can sit there,
No, getting close. You know the difference between hot reading and cold reading.
yes,
You know what that is. Like, if there was anybody that could sit here and tell someone they've never met exact details about their life, that person would be all over the news. And I guarantee you no one has ever done that.
no, they wouldn't, because as soon as the news would pick up on it, we're like, well, that's faked. They must have told them some notes in between the show.
That's why we need to have scientific study.
No, and
That's why we need to bring science into the paranormal.
It doesn't matter. It's going to be tried. They're going to try to prove it as fake no matter what.
Well, you should, though. You need to try to prove it's
What I'm
fake.
saying is they're not going to just try to prove it's fake. They're just going to say it's fake, and that's law. That's
fake news.
That's word.
It's fake news.
Yeah. So Brandy can sit here and come in and describe exactly how someone she's never met looks, and then we know that person, and we're shocked. Okay, KFS 12 comes in and talks to her about it. Well, obviously, you guys told her the truth about what they really looked like, or what they were like.
I know what you're saying.
And that's why no one
shake.
comes forward with it. Everybody stays hidden. They don't talk about it because it's so publicly shamed, whether it's true or not.
But if someone had a gift that was so exact, then they could take that and they could use it scientifically. People like this girl that's on Travel Channel. And I'm not going to say anything about your wife because we're friends. And also because I don't know. I've never seen her do this. But I've seen the Travel Channel show. I've seen Chip Coffee. I've seen them work. If they were as good as they look like they are on TV, then there's no reason why we can't use them to prove the existence of this stuff. There's no reason this woman that can go into a house she's never been in before and can tell you exact details of everything going on. There's no reason why she couldn't do that under a scientific scope. So why doesn't she?
Money.
She could. Well,
I got three different answers there. Hold on. I got she should from Tanner. Calvin, what'd you say?
They don't get paid.
I said money. I said science has funding. Scientists have to make money. People that do this research, they have to be able to live.
Okay, and you don't think that if they could prove this would not make the most money in the history of life?
No, but to start, you have to get somebody.
Who is going to back it
Initial
at the
funding.
beginning whenever there is...
Yeah.
Okay, so Lady Psychic goes to group of scientists and proves to them that she's telling the truth.
So she
Then
can prove it to the scientist, but
Can she prove it to everybody else?
there's so little...
I think she's asking who's the backer.
There's so little government funding for science.
How
and then
many-
if you go to a private investor,
Exactly.
it has to benefit them.
And who would benefit more from knowing that there is more to life than death than a rich old guy? If I'm a rich old guy and I'm sitting at home 80 years old knowing that death is creeping up on me and someone can prove to me that there is an afterlife, I will give them any amount of money they've ever wanted.
Okay. And then the news.
Am I wrong on that?
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. But
There is definitely money to be made.
But then
in
more
this.
scientists and news outlets and just people in general who don't believe in this stuff are going to come out and say, well, you're just a crazy old guy with money to blow who wants to know something, and they're just trying to make you feel better.
But if
No matter what, no matter how scientifically proven this is, there's always going to be the majority of people saying this is all crackpot science, pseudoscience, it doesn't exist.
they do that about stuff that we hold fundamentally true. There are people that say the earth is flat.
Yeah.
So it's not like this is a fringe thing. Like if it's provable, it's provable. If you can replicate this test and you can scientifically prove that this is a real thing, there will always be people that doubt it, but the people that believe it, how many people could you help? Calvin, go ahead.
There are some things that have been considered supernatural in the past that have then been
Brought into real science.
Yeah, and the people who who were the paranormal person before it was science that brought it into science are just forgotten about. Because it's science now. Especially in medical field, very few people actually get recognition for things unless a disease is named after them or something. And that's a negative thing.
Okay, but
Edgar Casey, case in point.
But there has to be people out there that would care more about helping people than the recognition they would get from being
but
a psychic.
this is a counter to almost both that point and Ace's point. Things have been thought to be paranormal. There are some people who can I forget what disease it is, but they can smell it.
I mean, astrology was at one point a paranormal thing. that through science became. I mean, people looking at the stars, the sun.
You mean astronomy?
What did I say?
Astrology.
Shit, my bad. Sorry, I got my astros mixed up. Astronomy, astrology is bullshit.
But I'm talking about a specific person. Like there are people who can. I forget what it is. It's a disease or a virus, maybe, but they can smell it off of other people. And scientific detection is worse than how these people can detect it.
Are you mentioning like pheromones?
I don't know what it is.
I read a story where someone, I think it was Crohn's
probably,
disease,
that sounds right.
that they could smell, and I
never smelled it.
She answered so many right.
We have
but then she had like 2 wrong, and then they got diagnosed later in life.
Yeah, and so like there are these things that are seen as paranormal that like are just slightly beyond our scope of science, but these people that come forward with it never get recognized. Like I have no clue what her name was. I don't even think it said in the thing I read.
Okay, but even saying that, there's no,
and she didn't get paid for it. Like it was an experiment that she might have gotten paid once for it to prove it, but they don't, like, it's not a reoccurring check.
But there's no scientific whatever for what we're talking about. Like
that you know of.
Again, if there really was someone that could do that, even if I don't know their name, you would know that it happened. You would know that this person proved.
Maybe. A lot of these
are we dipping into conspiracy theory levels?
Yes and no. So a lot of people are going to come out and do these things, and they're not doing them for the recognition. I talked about Edgar Cayce earlier. This man literally, in his supposed sleep, was giving out medical information and medical advice that today is still used by doctors. Now, he's not given recognition for it because he wasn't a doctor who gave the advice, and the doctors just took his advice. He wasn't doing it for the recognition. He wasn't doing it for money. He was doing it to help people. So, and no one's going to recognize him as being the person who came up with this information because he wasn't scientifically trained. But like I said, he wasn't out to get that recognition.
But I'm also pretty sure that if I look up these things that they still use today, there's not going to be an asterisk that said this came from an astral projection given to the doctor by person.
But if you look up Edgar Cayce, you will find his journals where he gave that information.
His journals.
His personal journals.
That he wrote. That's what I'm saying. There's no scientific proof. Anyone can say anything. I can claim whatever I want.
But here's the thing: some of this information was written down in the latter part of his life, which is, I'm pretty sure, the 20s. Okay, and some of this information wasn't used until the 60s and 70s. The doctors are looking through these medical journals that supposedly he had, and they're seeing this information, and they're trying it, and it's working. There's like time jumps in some of this.
You want to put it in science?
Yes.
Nikola Tesla. Same kind of thing. He could do wonderful things with science. Nobody believed him. And just now, scientists are like, you know who was fucking smart? Like, we could have wireless power.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure Tesla also wasn't a name we just heard about.
No, it was always known about because of the war between him and Edison.
Yeah. And that was because Edison was famous, not because Tesla was famous.
Yeah.
Edison, I believe the man who originally tried to invent a machine to speak to the dead.
Yes, actually, yeah.
And failed, unfortunately.
Tried to talk to that elephant.
What?
Because he killed that elephant.
Do you not know about that?
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I got you.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, no. He was a cruel man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
Allie, do you know about the elephant?
No, but
I'm
gathering information.
If nothing else, most people know about it from Bob's Burgers.
Yeah.
That's sad that more people know this from Bob's Burgers than from actual
you know what's sad? You know what's sad? My favorite game series of all time, Assassin's Creed, really picks up heavy on that story of the war between the two of them. They actually put the video of him killing the elephant in the game.
Like
Are you
recreation of the
serious?
actual video?
No, the actual video. Like they cut away right before it happens.
Oh, wow.
That's dark.
He worked with electricity a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And he really wanted to disprove Tesla heavily.
Yeah.
Which one was he on, AC or DC? Edison.
Back in black.
Edison was on alternating current.
Okay.
Tesla was on direct current. Because, yeah.
All right, so you have 2 assignments for this weekend, kids. We want you to look up what a bastard Thomas Edison was, and stop.
It's not a short list.
It's not hard.
Yeah. 2, I'm sending out a signal to everyone listening. If you have abilities, if you think you have abilities,
You Professor X?
He's got more hair.
Can I be Cyclops?
No.
You want to be Cyclops?
I would much rather be Cyclops.
Just be
I quit.
Roses are red, violets are red, everything's
Can I
red.
be Gambit?
Yeah, of course. Who else would you be? Tanner, you're Colossus. It's either that or Beast. You pick.
Would you rather be Russian or blue?
I'm blue.
Okay, he's Beast. Allie, you're
Don't do it.
Careful.
Don't do it.
Lindsay, you're Jean Grey.
I'm fine with that, but I hate Jean so much.
Allie, let's see, you're Jubilee. All right.
Pew, 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 pew.
No, but seriously though, if you, I'm actually, this is the I want to believe challenge. If you are sensitive, if you're a medium, if you can talk to the dead, if you can tell me about my life, if you can do any of these things, contact me. Contact me. Prove it to me.
Actually, no. It should be like tell about like me or Lindsay or Allie, whose life is less public.
Who's less on the show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Just get in contact with me. We'll work out the details. But the point is, and I'm not saying this to exploit you. I'm not saying this to make fun of you. This show's called I Want to Believe because we are trying to find the truth. If you can help us find the truth, then please reach out to us. Email us at literally anything at podzilla1985.com. Message us on Facebook, Podzilla1985. However you need to get in contact with us, do it. Let's talk about your abilities. Let's talk about what's out there. I want to thank you guys for listening. I Want to Believe tonight. We're going to be back tomorrow with Pro Wrestling Unscripted. No, we're not. We're taking the night off, I'm pretty sure, because Asa is quarantined right now with the flu.
Oh, no.
And he's not going to be out from under quarantine until Friday. So there's a good chance. And plus, Dalton has an engagement tomorrow that he's going to be probably unable to make it. So it would just be me and Allie, which would be the worst. We did one show together that was pretty good, but it was about church. So it was a little bit more.
Us talking about wrestling, it would be the shortest PW we ever had.
I don't know. I talk a lot.
Unless you bring a guest in, then it'll be even longer.
It's true. I don't know who I'd bring in. Maybe Justin. I don't know. We may or may not be back for Pro Wrestling Unscripted tomorrow. But anyway, thank you guys for listening tonight. We'll see you back on tomorrow or Thursday. Until then, again, prove to us what you can do. Keep watching the skies. Good night.